Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you today about clearing out your Google Classroom for the beginning of the next 9 weeks. Yesterday at lunch, Mr. Greer, Mr. Mosier, and myself, we were talking about the next 9 weeks term and how Google Classroom doesn't currently offer a way to archive our classes by 9 weeks, which means next week when we start posting stuff to our classrooms, students will have access to the new material, but they'll also have access to our old material, which means a few of them might think that they can still work on stuff, still turn stuff in, but we know that once the first 9 weeks grades are finalized, we can't go back in and change them. So we were trying to figure out if there's a way to kind of work around this. So the three of us did figure out a way for you to archive your assignments so that you'll have them for next year, but at the same time you'll have a new slate for the beginning of this next 9 weeks, which will hopefully make it a little bit clearer and easier for our students to use. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today, was at least the way that we figured out. So hopefully this will work for you.
Alright, so I've kind of vanished from the screen. I've taken control of my computer, and I'm going to take my mouse up to my first class, which is second period. And there's three little dots in the top right hand corner. Depending on the theme that you chose, it may be hard to see those dots. But I'm going to select that, and I could scroll down to archive, but I don't want to archive yet, so I'm just going to click copy. And this pops up the copy class dialog box. And I'm going to change the name of this. I still want it to say digital literacy. I still have my section set for second period, but I wanted to type after the name of my class, first 9 weeks. So once I've typed that, I'll click copy, and it'll take a couple seconds for it to actually create the class. So while it's actually doing that, you'll notice it says creating class. I'm going to take my mouse and go over to my second period digital literacy class once again, just so I can show you. If I click on classwork, I do have all my classwork stuff set up by weeks. I don't want to click on people because we don't want to break confidentiality. I'll switch back to classes and see if that's finished. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Alright, so I'm going to click on digital literacy classwork once again. Now remember, this is a new class. All my documents are still there, separated by weeks. If I click on people, I don't have anybody enrolled in this period because this is just a copy of a class. So the only thing it copies is the classwork. So now I can archive this. I'm going to switch back to classes. I'm going to click on those three little dots again, and I'll say archive. And this way I have copies of all of my first 9 weeks stuff. Alright, so now I just want to point out that I do not have to make copies of my other digital literacy classes. As long as I've got the files for one of the classes in archive, I can pull them up next year to copy for all of my different classes for next year. The only one I really need to make another copy of will be the only other class that I teach, which is my multimedia class. So I'll click on the three dots. I'll take out copy of, and I'll type first 9 weeks. Once I've done that, I'll click copy. It may take a minute for it to load. And then while it's creating the class, I'll skip ahead. So now I've made a copy of my class, and if I click on it, we can just verify that the classwork was copied. So I can scroll down and see all the different assignments that I did for the beginning of the year. So I know that that all worked. There's nobody in this class because it's just copies of the work. I'll switch back to classes, and I will archive this class just the same way that I did digital literacy. Alright, so now the only thing that I have left to do is to go back to each of my classes, like digital literacy second period, click on classwork, and delete the different weeks of work. Now, I will not be doing this until probably Thursday of next week because I want to give the kids every chance that they have to be able to turn something in. You may choose to not to delete your stuff until Friday, Saturday, Sunday. With midterms not being due for a couple days, you may give the kids a little bit longer than I'm going to give my students. So that's completely up to you. But once you've finalized your grades and you're not accepting any more work, it's probably a good idea to go back to each of your classes and delete the classwork. So like here I'm in my last class, Multimedia Publishing. So I would, on that day that I choose, just click on the different weeks, topics, and delete the topics. So that way I can clear my Google Class. All right. I hope this helps, guys. Thanks.